Welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Brandon here with Colton, and today we are playing the deck for the ReZero deck that aired on Tuesday. So hopefully this will look up pretty good. My voice is going to
Better
be
than last time, at least.
yeah. Uh, my voice is going to be a little rough today, so I'm sorry about that, but hopefully it won't be too distracting. And then we're playing against Data Live. You saw from the thumbnail. So Colton, you're playing Data Live today.
I am. I don't have a ton of experience with Data Live. I am not going to pretend to know how to play this well. But right now, the litmus test for anything that's coming into this meta is, well, does it play into Data Live? So we're probably going to see a lot of Data Live in our gameplay videos for a while, just because that's the nature of things. So for me, this is an opportunity to learn how to play this deck better so that I learn how to play into it better, while also giving ReZero the actual test of what it is that it's going to be playing into. So
I'll swing for 3.
3 is good. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. This is our second swing at recording this. We recorded this once and it did not go well, which is why the video was not up on Thursday like it usually is. Sorry. We tried very hard, and it did not happen. That's the long and the short of that.
If you did not watch the video on Tuesday, kind of the point of this ReZero deck is to get ready for the stock charge combo and then use that combo to help propel you forward, using the stock to get all of your pieces in play to build a great wall and essentially start winning advantage by that point.
The walls are a lot more interesting in ReZero than they are in a lot of other sets. Yeah, that's going to be for 2, and I'm going to give the power to the Toka, so she's going to swing at 25. For 2. No, for 1, excuse me. So yeah, no, the in a world where there's a lot more removal, walls aren't as effective as they used to be. But in a lot of matchups, they're still really useful, especially if you can get multiple copies of your big wall piece onto the field, so they can't all get removed.
Which character is getting the 1500?
Oh, it really probably doesn't matter. I'm gonna give it to the girl with the pink hair whose name I don't know.
Coterie, yes. Okay.
Okay, I'll give it to her because I know that your Amelia runs to the middle. I don't think it's going to matter, but that's all I can think of. We are also recording this at midnight because that's how our work schedules worked out. She runs to the middle, but that doesn't affect you on your turn at all.
No.
You can just put her wherever you want. So it literally doesn't make a difference. Because both of my characters are at 15, you can just put the Amelia wherever, so long as you don't go below 5 cards in hand.
If I don't, even if I don't trigger, you're gonna get to 1 anyway.
Probably at this point, yeah.
Yeah. So
especially seeing as how I'm already out 2 climaxes.
I might as well just swing 3 times then, I think. Yep, we'll go with that. With this, I will start by swinging here for 2.
2 is good.
Swing here, should be 500 over for 2.
2 is good once again. I am going to level red.
Makes sense. And then swing here for 3.
Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah. I'm like, there's no way I'm not gonna at least trigger once. I'll trigger all 3 times then.
All right, we're gonna draw. Oh man. Worst part about this is that I'm probably gonna have to clock just to get the playables I want.
Yeah, probably. I mean, your standby deck, you want to be big anyway. Not necessarily 2 levels big, but
Yeah.
you at least have targets to go get with standby, so.
Yeah. I am going to kill the Shido. Man, that was not very helpful. So everything is as is, like 3,500, 2,000, 2,000?
Yeah, the 35 and then 2-2, yep.
Yeah. Well, we'll slam a standby at least.
Okay.
To go get the 2/2 and put it into the back row. I'll side here for 1.
1 cancels.
I'll give the power to the one in the middle.
Mm-hmm. 1 sticks.
For 1 again. Yep. And then I'll side here for 2.
I'll clock blue since I'll have blue and green now. Some reverse waiting. Stand all. Draw 1. Clock. 2.
It feels very strange to play a deck that doesn't care about compression very much. That's a feeling that I am not used to. Like, as every other deck I play, it's like, okay, can I get to my second deck before my level 1 clock? Before I get to level 2. Where are my climaxes? Can I get more climaxes in the waiting room? And this, it's like, there's not much you can do. Like, you slam your climaxes, so you're not holding them in hand, but you're also not really swinging for high damage. Your climax is just kind of all over the place, it feels like, with this list.
Swinging here. So, first trigger is a bag.
Yep. Yes, Brandon, tell the people what happens when you trigger a bag with this combo.
Everything happens.
Because it's actually really fantastic. I love this combo. I absolutely love this puck combo. Super high on it.
So I am able to blind stock, and then when I also trigger a bag, I can salvage. So that's the first one, and then the second one for a total of 3.
Yeah, so you just paid 1 for Twin Drive, and out of that you got how much stock?
I paid 1 for Twin Drive, then I stock charged, so that's so evens out. Then bag trigger, blind stock plus the bag, and then the trigger after that, so plus 3 stock.
So in one lane you just plussed, instead of like the normal combo, which is plusing like 1 stock and maybe another card, you plus 3 stock and a salvage because of what you triggered.
Yes.
And you give yourself more of a chance to trigger it because you have Twin Drive, which also means that you don't need to swing into standby targets. So you can still get your advantage and still stick damage even when swinging into 1/1 standby targets.
Yeah.
I love this. I think it's great. I think this is excellent. For 3?
For a total of 3.
3 is good because, sure.
Because why not?
Yeah, I guess.
I'll continue the train.
Yep.
I'll pay out a stock.
The only thing I don't love about this combo is that it is pretty easy to bury a climax.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That's the thing. That's the one major drawback here, I think. That, and you don't necessarily negate the advantage of a lot of other decks because you can't, reverse their combos, so people can loop combos and, their standby targets stay on field, things like that. So, that's definitely a thing. You can't really interrupt their plussing, but you're basically saying, I'm going to plus more. So it's a trade you're willing to make.
Swinging for 2 this time.
Oh my gosh, there's one.
Hey. And then I'll swing here.
Yeah.
Pay it out. And stop charging that one.
Yep.
For 1 and then the second trigger. So for 4.
Wow. Okay. Let it be known that there are 2 other climaxes in this deck right now. Well, when the girl whose name I have already forgotten dies,
Coterie.
I can look it up to 4. Of course, none of them are my climaxes, which means that the last 2 cards in deck are my climax. I absolutely love it here.
But you can get a level 1 card.
Right, which means I'm going to grab the Shido event.
I mean...
And then we'll draw. You're never going to believe what I drew.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Well, you have a 2/2, so you have a front row character.
I do.
You can use the Shido to not do anything.
Exactly.
Also, I mean,
I'm gonna clock and draw 2 because it's literally my only option.
Yeah.
And then I'll draw, and then I'll send that to Resolution Zone as well. So I'll take my refresh damage rather.
Yep.
Well, good thing I leveled yellow, I guess. So that I can go get that.
Tap in the back row, I assume.
Yep. And then I'm going to play that. I'm at least going to slam this. Seeing as how everyone knows that I have 2 of these in hand. To at least get that on field, so I have another 2-soul beater of some kind. We'll swing here. For 1.
1 6.
For 2.
Cancels.
I'm not going to Icy Tail. It's too expensive for what it is. Of course, I triggered the standby for 3.
Cancels.
I suppose I'll do that so that you can just kill it with your early play.
Fair enough. Would you like to memory kick?
Honestly, no.
I figured that was the case, but...
memory kicking, that doesn't do me any good at all.
No, not really.
Every time I play this deck, this is what happens. The deck knows I hate it. The deck knows that I despise it. So it's just bound and determined to make sure that everyone else can run it except for me.
And then I will actually pay 1, send this to memory, look at 4. I'll choose that one. Send to waiting room, refresh. Refresh point. Okay. So I do this, pay 1, clock 1, search. To get this one into hand. So I can eventually get this into waiting room. Slide this forward, pay 1. Because I am still level 1. To Kitsubo again. Leveling in green.
You just used the Takitsubo twice to will yourself to level 2.
Yes.
Yikes. That's pretty gross.
A little bit. Because I can play this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I can play that first. That's fine. 2 climaxes in waiting room. Play over this one. Pay 2. Nothing to heal, but it's fine. I'm here. I can't do anything more. Puck's big now.
Right.
Switch those. I need to... Because Puck gains additional 2 and then an additional 1. So that is at 10. That's not bigger than 10-5. Puck is at 12-5. 11. And then back row assist was times... Yeah, 12-5. Cool. And then Amelia is down to 1-5.
Yeah.
You live another day. I think.
That's what you say.
That's what I say
Yeah.
for now.
I mean, if you slam a climax...
Well, you only have one...
I mean, you know that I'm out 4.
Yeah. I know it's a climax in hand, so I could actually play over this one.
Because if you slam the climax right now, you're swinging for 3-2-3 with no triggers. And you're swinging into 1 out of 7 compression. You could absolutely win the game right here.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Attack phase. I'll start here.
Okay.
12-5. For...
Yep.
For 2.
2's good.
12-5 again. For 2.
Mm-hmm. Cancel on 2.
And then... Realistically, I side attack for 0.
Okay.
Because it's more important to keep it on field.
Draw. Oh gosh, of course. Clock draw 2. Because of course I drew a climax.
Let's see. The back row here is only 8-5. Your front's only 8-5 currently, 9-5, but That's
on play
gains 2k power.
gains 2, so
Yep, 10-5.
So how big is all your stuff?
12-5, 10, 12-5. Hey, you got the Brainstormer.
Yeah, we'll see if anything happens.
Okay.
Yeah, this is strictly academic at this point because I'm literally 1 out of 21. So for 2,
On reverse, you get your effect to look at your triggers.
I honestly don't care.
That's fair.
For 3. Like, the game's over. The game is very over. And I'll just crash in both these lanes. And
What was that last trigger?
it was empty. So for 2.
Discard that one to Encore.
Yeah. So literally all you just need to do is stand and attack and you win.
Yeah. Merge. And well, yeah.
Yeah. Grab the combo and then if you have the climax, you have a clock kick as well.
I mean, I'm only 2-4, so.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so the first one cancels, but the rest of it,
The rest of it's gonna stick.
the rest of it all sticks, and it's for 4 any way you slice it. So, all right, well that was a train wreck. Data Live only loses to itself apparently. More importantly, though, for our purposes here, ReZero, Brandon, how do you feel about this, having played this?
I mean, you're able to get the wall, or a relatively decently wall. The pucks are going to compete against the mid game. Like, I had to more or less had to force my way up to 2 just to get the wall out. But you're able to do that. You have the pieces to do that if you need to. You're able to. Essentially, you're able to keep going to get to the place you need. You're able to kind of control where you're at with the Takitsubo, so like you can speed up the game if you need to, using the early plays to heal down. I think the level 1 combo I think is pretty strong. Because you can bury climaxes relatively easily, I don't think that it's going to be the combo that everybody's going to lean towards. I think everybody's going to lean more towards a more consistent combo, but I really like this, and I really think it's going to be interesting to see this deck in the environments you're going to be in. Especially for this early play wall. Yep. Like right now it's at 14 on the end here, and then bigger than that, 15-5 in the middle.
Yeah, and this is all stuff you can get down at level 2 because of the not merge package, but the memory kick, essentially memory kick salvage package.
Yeah, so like right now I have 4 memory, which is more than enough you need for the combo.
Not to mention, like, the memory compression itself is good, even if it's not a condition for another card.
Mm-hmm. And especially like with this, you're still under that 4 with Konosuba that already came out, and with Magia Record that's coming out soon. Both of them having memory things that try to limit your memory to 4. So you're kind of staying in that threshold, so you're not going to be able to fall victim to some of those effects.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're in a really sweet spot with that. Early play heals, your end game combo, your end game finisher heals. So like you have a lot of healing as well, so you can kind of stall out at that point.
Yeah,
it's a stock healer, so you're able to kind of preserve some of that stock that you were managed to build early on to get to this point. Because I recognize like
Yep.
this mid section here, just about everything on board right now costs a bunch of stock, and getting the assist on field early costs additional stock. It's essentially like about what three stock minimum to get it on field early, not including if
Yeah.
you have to Kitsubo for the pieces. So like, but at the same time,
Yeah,
it's
and
worth
that but
it.
that's but
Honestly,
that's also I think what makes the level 1 combo so worth it,
yeah.
right? Like that's why I think you run this level 1 combo because it gets you so much stock advantage that you can immediately use on, you have two different back row Amagis, or two different, back row pay one add a card effects, I should say. And then obviously, the somewhat expensive effect to bring that 3/2 up, but that 3/2 has hexproof. It's just really strong for a lot of reasons. So yeah, a lot of stock heavy effects in this deck, but I think with the level 1 combo, you generate enough stock to make it work. I think that that's worth the risk of burying a climax, especially because if you do happen to trigger that climax, and if, whether or not it's buried, you also get a salvage out of the deal if you trigger the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you talk about other combos maybe being more consistent. They might be more consistent.
It getting hearts to hand.
Maybe,
That's namely what I'm thinking.
maybe I
The,
I,
the,
I don't think so though. I don't think so because if you have two stock when you slam your climax, you can essentially double a Magi out of your back row. You're basically you're paying for the effects and then immediately putting that stock back. You know what I mean? So like
mm,
you can turn that stock into cards in hand very easily. Especially because if you're triggering bars, those bars are bouncing into your hand, so you can slam a bar on your next turn if you want to pay out some stock and use the Amagi effects. I think there's a lot of synergy here, and I think that there are a lot of really convenient ways to turn stock into cards. Even the level 0 puck that kicks itself to memory, a profile that I don't personally like very much. At the very least, pay one, kick this to memory. You have the stock. You've generated all this extra stock. So I don't think getting cards into hand is going to be an issue with this deck because I think that it has ways of turning that stock into cards.
oh, for sure.
Not to mention, the effects that bring on the back row assist and and that back row assist when its package comes together, it can salvage the level 3 combo, and there's a climax swapper in this. Like it all feels like if you put it together and you practice with it and you can feel out how the pieces play with each other, this is a deck that could be very, very powerful and generate a lot of resources to make sure it gets the game that it wants. And on a combo that essentially can't be denied. Like you really can't deny the puck with Twin Drive and an on attack combo. Like there isn't really an effective way to keep that combo from happening. So I think this is really strong. And I think that out of all the level 1 combos in ReZero, this is my favorite.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting to see. There's a lot of moving pieces in this deck, so when you're playing it, you're going to have to be really careful about how you play it.
Oh yeah.
Especially that level 2 turn, that like because of all the different mechanics that happen simultaneously,
Mm-hmm.
like making sure that you have all of the right pieces on all the right places.
This is a deck that's going to require a deft hand and a lot of practice reps.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a deck that you can just pick up and play, I don't think. This is a deck that's going to take a lot of work to perfect as a player. But when someone does, someone's going to perfect this. Someone is going to get this deck down to a science, and they're going to take it to a regional, and they're going to shock some people. Because out of, we already know ReZero is good. Everyone's talking about how ReZero is at least participant in the meta. I think that a deck like this, that doesn't have bad matchups with Data Live, Konosuba, or Fate. I think this kind of deck is one that can really make a splash in the meta long term. But I think it needs this level 1 combo in order to do that, because its other combos don't plus enough. This generates a lot of plus, and if you can turn that plus into on-field advantage and getting your combo off and getting the cards that you need, this is going to be a very dangerous deck.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that's it for us. Thank you for being here. We will be back on Tuesday with a Clock Talk in the beginning of Weiss Week. So we look forward to Weiss Week, obviously, next week. We'll talk about it a little bit on Tuesday. On Thursday, we will wrap up our Frozen Bonds 5 cards, 5 minutes with the uncommons and the commons and everything else that we find interesting from the new set. Week after that is my deck, which is to be announced, followed by gameplay for that deck here on Weiss Fight. So that's what's coming up. Thank you for joining us today, and until next time, have a good one.
We'll see you then.